let's talk about a different mount where I can control the hips more, but isolates me in other ways. So I'm going to move my hips down. I'm going to lock my feet up like a guard. I'm going to lift my feet up to the sky and bring my hips low. And how does that feel?
It's terrible.
Yeah, so it's going to add a ton more pressure on his hips. Now I have my knees nice and wide. I'm not bringing my knees in like this with my feet down. I want my feet under his butt if I can. I'm like lifting and pressuring down, creating this torque on his hips. So what's nice about this is I get a lot more control, right? But what's scary about this is I can no longer use my legs to attack. It's just a complete controlled position. Okay, another thing that we can do is grapevine the legs here. And so this is another way to control what his lower body is doing. And though I can't use my legs for offense anymore, at least I've just isolated his legs to where they can't even be used for defense. Okay, so even if he were to try to struggle right here, like it's very difficult for him to go anywhere. So I might use this as a control position, but I can't really use too much to attack from right here. Like it's not a very good attack position. Maybe I can go for Ezekiel's or Americana's, but I don't really have autonomy over my hips right now, and he can have an easier chance bucking me off. This is just a great place to stay center, maybe hold an arm in the head and extend him away and just control and make him miserable, just to cook him for a little bit. So just to review real quick, I have regular mount, I have this, I have a grapevine. Okay, so great control, increasing your control, but decreasing your ability to attack. So the further your hips move down, the more control you have over their legs, right? Preventing them from defending anything, but at the same time losing my ability to attack. Now, if I go to something like high mount, where I get very high, where you see how his shoulders get pinched in here, I'm starting to isolate, but now he's got a little bit more autonomy over his hips to start, bringing his legs up or bucking me forward and things of that nature. But it's nice because now it's very easy to start isolating these arms. So we have to take tit for tat, right? And now, there's the other one called an S mount. S mount's kind of tricky because I start to rotate and I'm isolating, I'm using my knee and my foot to pinch his head. I tell the kids, get the knee to the ear, get the foot to the ear. Whether I have both arms isolated or I have one arm isolated like this, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to create a lot of pressure on his chest and his gut here as I lean a little bit this way. And so this is S mount, and we talked about this in the closed guard, how I make an S with my legs right here. And this is great because I can start getting triangles from mount, I can start getting arm bars from mount, so on and so forth, and we're going to talk about that as mount position extends. Now let's go ahead and have the head face that way. So again, just so you can see it from this angle, I have regular mount, I move down to control the hips, and then I go to the grapevine, right? And you see how I kind of have to be balanced here, so it takes away my ability to attack a little bit. So more control, less attacking power. Now I can move up to a high mount where I'm way up here like this, but he's got more autonomy over his hips, or I can move this into an S mount. And we'll talk about a flat S mount versus like an elevated S mount, which is miserable, right? But for right now, for this course, as we do the introduction, just regular S mount. So those are the basic types of mounts that we're gonna cover right now and what we can kind of do from each one of those.